This conference will now be
Okay.
recorded.
Okay. Let's come to the class. The last class we are discussing about pneumothorax. Pneumothorax, three types of pneumothorax, of course. Then we now just I'll few minutes we'll discuss about pneumothorax. That is about investigations. You all know investigations. How will you know that pneumothorax is there? Normally, when you see lungs, when you see lungs in the PA view chest, what will you see? Usually, you'll see కొంచెం తెల్లగా కనబడుతున్నాయి. But both the dark and white areas will be there. The dark is because of the air. The white is because of the bronchovascular markings. Because of the bronchovascular markings, it will be actually both dark and light areas will be there. But in case of pneumothorax, because of the accumulation of the air that is present in the pleural cavity, the lung is pushed out and there will be a collapse of the lung. The collapse of the lung may be in same side or may actually or it may be very big and the mediastinal structures may be pushed out to the opposite side. So you'll find a line, Normally, you will find a bronchovascular markings will be up to the periphery. Up to the periphery, you will find. But in case of pneumothorax, the pneumo area will not contain any bronchovascular markings. So you will not find any bronchovascular. That will be hypertranslucent. And the bronchovascular markings will be stopped at some place. There is a line. The line is because of the visceral flora. You will find a line. So that is what you find in PAVU chest. Of course, in supine posture also you may find some area, but mostly that will be behind the diaphragm. That is, you will find one deep sulcus sign. I told you, deep sulcus sign. The angle between the what is that costophrenic angle will be. You'll see in all the X-rays, but deep sulcus means that will be more. That will be deep because of the presence of air behind the diaphragm. That is not deep sulcus signs will be there. Of course, you will find that is shift of trachea, shift of the heart structures like that. So that is X-ray findings. So just by seeing X-ray, you can diagnose most of the cases. Of course, and you can also take the CT chest also there. Sometimes there will be a bulla may be there, very big bulla may be there, and bulla may be compressing of the lung, and actually that will be there. But there also the bronchovascular markings will not be present in that bulla. But here, in case of pneumothorax, of course, the same, but you will find the bulla there is outer lining just like below will be there. But here, after that is linear long linear line will be there. That is of the visceral flora. That is about investigations. And of course, treatment, in case of tension pneumothorax, you all know that's an emergency procedure. The air has to be let out immediately, otherwise the patient will develop cardiac complications. Cardiac complications mean like a low cardiac output like that. So patient will develop hypoxia, low cardiac output, tachycardia, tachypnea, all those things. So that is tension pneumothorax. Immediately you have to put a big needle. Catheter or 14 to 16 gauge catheter put in the mid-clavicular line and the second intercostal space anteriorly. Then push. When you push the needle, then air gushes out. So that is because the pneumothorax, and keep the needles there only. You put the catheter. You can insert the catheter over the needle one, or you put the needle there, strap it, and then put the tube thoracostomy tube. Put tube thoracostomy tube in the 15th intercostal space, anterior axillary line. You have to put the tube, thoracostomy tube. Of course, that is important treatment, and you have to keep it under water seal. Water seal actually previously when you were students, only one bottle. Only one bottle we were using. Now actually there are 3 bottles will be there. 3 bottles last time, of course, I explained 3 bottles will be there. 3 bottles will be there so that there will not be any complications. Complications, that is one is infection. Very common is infection. So we'll prevent infection by using 3 bottles, the latest. So that is about the treatment of pneumothorax. Now coming to the today's class is bronchogenic carcinoma or lung cancers. Or broadly about we have discussed about lung cancers. Of course, he has given global situation in England and Scotland. We have taken, but actually India is the leading cause of death. India, it is the leading cause of death. First cause of death in India, and of course, is commonest cause in other countries because of the smoking. Smoking was very common, very common there. And actually, in women also, the incidence of bronchogenic carcinoma is sometimes, suppose more, that is here. That is commonest cause of cancer death even is in Scotland. Scotland is more because of smoking. Because smoking in the women. That is very more in Western countries, other European countries and US also, the smoking is also more. There it's very common in women. Of course, mortality you know very well. The classification, of course, you must know the primary, another that is malignant. It is primary, that is benign, very rare. Hamartoma, squamous cell papillomatosis, pleomorphic adenoma is there. Bronchial carcinoid, they are all benign. Of course, another variety is very common in what we actually bronchogenic carcinoma, what we are discussing, other lung cancer, they are all malignant. They are all malignant tumors. And all the malignant tumors, metastatic tumors, they are also malignant. Metastatic tumors, metastasis itself, that is in case of malignancy, the tumor will metastasize. That is very common. So they're very common. Risk factors will come little later on. Of course, this is a common classification. What is more important is therapeutically also it is very useful. This is based on the characteristics of the disease response to treatment, therapeutical classification. That is, they are divided into small cell lung cancer, lung carcinoma, SCLC, lung cancer, non-small cell lung cancer, carcinomas, NSCLC. As the broad classification, small cell and non-small cell. But in the case of actually the cell type, because the cell type, of course, is given here, this squamous carcinoma is 35%, adenocarcinoma 30%, small cell is next common is 20%, large cell is 15%. But what actually in classification, small cell cancer is one, and non-small cell lung cancer contains 3 varieties. What are the 3 varieties? The 3 varieties are, they are adenocarcinoma, non-smoker, of course, squamous cell carcinoma, and large cell carcinoma. They all belong to non-small cell carcinomas, Of course, by adenoma carcinoma is the commonest. Of course, squamous, they are both more commonly present. So 2 types of cancers. One is small cell lung carcinoma and non-small cell lung carcinoma. The non-small cell lung carcinoma contains 3 varieties. They are squamous cell carcinoma, adenocarcinoma, and large cell carcinoma. Of course, just want to tell this, what are these pathology? That is the commonest type. 40% of all the carcinomas, and they are present in the bronchus leading in the obstruction. Mostly they are central. They are centrally located. They are centrally located. Local spread is very common. Widespread metastasis occurs relatively late, of course. Cavities, the 10%. Suppose I told you many times, the cavities, the upper lobe cavities. What are the causes of upper lobe cavities? In case of upwards in tuberculosis, upper the cavity fibrosis with cavity in upper lobe. And what are other causes of cavities? Pawan Kalyan, other causes, cavity formation. Just now we discussed now. That is lung cancer. Lung cancer is one. Metastasis and aspergillosis, Klebsiella pneumonia. They will all cause upper lobe cavities. They're very, very common. Very common. Upper lobe Klebsiella pneumonia is there. Tuberculosis, that is with fibrosis and cavitary lesion. Lung cancer, that is bronchogenic carcinoma, and metastasis and aspergillosis. They are all cause cavities. Of course, this is what squamous cell carcinoma looks like. Next, adenocarcinoma. Adenocarcinoma is also part of non-small cell lung carcinoma, adenocarcinoma. Epithelium, it arises from epithelium. It is actually peripheral. It is actually that invasion of pleura is more common. So it actually occurs peripherally, approximately 10%, actually more than 10%, actually. More than 10%. 30% carcinomas. The most common carcinoma associated with asbestosis. Asbestosis causes adenocarcinoma. The more common, proportionally more common in non-smokers, whereas squamous cell carcinoma it is present in smokers. It is present in smokers. Here, adenocarcinoma is present in non-smokers, mostly women, elderly, and persist. It is up to gland. Adenocarcinoma again blue stain. Large cell carcinoma. The third variety of non-small cell carcinomas is large cell carcinomas. Large cell, less differentiated forms of squamous. They are highly malignant. Highly malignant, account for 25% of the lung cancers. Metastasis early. Metastasis, they are highly malignant actually. Large cell carcinomas. This is large cell. Small nucleus will be here. Irregular nucleus like that. Large cell, for this in some. This is small cell carcinoma. Pink stain, usually there are pink stain, small. Cells are very big, irregular nucleus. It is pink. Large cells will be very large. Staining pink stained will be there like this. So many large cells. Whereas small cells are small. Cells are very small. What are risk factors? The risk factors are tobacco smoke. 85 to 90, you can tell, or 80 to 85. Then the most common cause of bronchogenic carcinoma is just tobacco smoke. Tobacco smoke with there are two indices. Tobacco smoking, there are two indices. What are those two indices, Ayesha? Ayesha is there.
Sir, can you repeat the
Harika,
question, please?
there are two indices. Smoking, when you take history of smoking, you must
Pack
know the
years,
CVL. Huh?
number of pack years,
Very good. Number of
and
packages.
smoking
If the number
index.
of packages is more than 30, definitely the patient will develop bronchospasm. What is a pack year?
Number of cigarettes smoked in a day divided by 20.
You're off.
Number of packs smoked in a day.
Number of packets per day into number of years. Suppose the patient is smoking two packets for 20 years. The packets will be 40 in case of years. But in India, just a minute. Just a minute, please hold. Please hold on. Hello, చెప్పండి రాఘవరావు గారు. Okay, thank you. ఎవరు అతను 50 years ఉన్నాడు కదా ఎంత డోస్ ఎట్లా రెడ్యూస్ ఎలా చేస్తుంది రెడీ దీన్ని నైట్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తారా నెక్స్ట్ తర్వాత 5 days కోర్స్ 100 వస్తే 200 నెక్స్ట్ 100 ఓకే ఇదంతా గవర్నమెంట్ పే చేస్తుందా సో ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಗಿಂತ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರೂಮ್ ಪೇ ಇರೋದು ಸರ್ ಬಾಯ್ తర్వాత ఆప్షన్ పెట్టేస్తే పెట్టిన ఓకే ఓకే నెక్స్ట్ ఓకే థ్యాంక్స్ థ్యాంక్ యూ నువ్వు ఈసుకున్నాను అవుతారు ఈసుకున్నాను అవుతారు అది ఐడియా ఉందా చెప్పండి సుష్మాన్ ఫోన్ చేయమని చెప్పండి తర్వాత వెరీ గుడ్ థ్యాంక్ యూ చెప్పండి మామూలు యాక్చువల్లీ Thank you. Okay. Just tobacco, of course, I told pack years. Pack years is Ayesha, the number of packets per day into number of years. But in India, each packet containing only 10 cigarettes. But of course, in Britain and other US, each packet contains 20 cigarettes. So what we have to do in India, number of packets per day into number of years by 2. Suppose America, that is of course 20, and India, if you get 20, then you have to divide it by 2 because containing only 10 cigarettes. So it will come to 10 like that. So pack year means number of packets per day into number of years. Understood? So, but more than 30 pack years, then definitely the patient will develop bronchogenic asthma. But suppose if you smoke cigarettes, first if the patient will develop chronic bronchitis, then he may develop then bronchogenic asthma later on like this. The second index is smoking index. What you first told is the smoking index. What is smoking index? Smoking
Number
index
of
is number of
cigarettes
cigarettes per day into number of years. Suppose the patient is smoking 10 cigarettes. for 20 years, then the smoking index is 200, like that, 200. So if it is more than 200, definitely the patient will develop complications of the lungs, like chronic bronchitis. If it is more than 400, then definitely the patient is sure to get bronchogenic asthma. So we must remember two indices. One is smoking index, another is package. Okay, understood. Now coming to the tobacco. Tobacco actually, it causes about, I told you about 85 to 90 actually is a common cause, tobacco. Even passive also. Passive also the patient may get bronchogenic asthma. Of course, asbestosis, nickel, chromium, cadmium, radiation, atmospheric pollution, they are all causative factors of bronchogenic asthma. Of course, small cell carcinoma is called Port cell often accounts for 20 to 30% of all lung cancers. What is neuroendocrine? They arise from neuroendocrine cells, Pulczynski cells. Pulczynski cells, Pulczynski cells. They spreads early, almost inoperable presentation. The small cell carcinoma actually, because surgery is not indicated, because by the time you know that it's a small cell carcinoma, already metastasis will be there. So there actually chemotherapy. What actually you have to do only chemotherapy there. Prognosis of course very poor. Chemotherapy and radiotherapy, because they are rapidly occurring, highly malignant, always inoperable, spreads early, Pulczynski cells is present, and they are all neuroendocrine cells. Then coming to clinical features. The clinical feature, lung cancer presents in many different ways, reflecting local, metastatic, and paraneoplastic. So you have to divide into three. One is local, that is present in the lungs. What are the it causes to come? Some symptoms are in lungs. Second one is paraneoplastic. Paraneoplastic, because of the paraneoplastic varieties, they will cause like SIADH like that, ADS tumor like that. And third one is metastatic. This metastatic actually you must remember two things. You must remember two things. What are these two things? One, actually lung, actually the metastasis of the lung may go to brain, may go to liver, may go to adrenal. Like that, the lung metastasis to brain, liver, kidney, and the bone and adrenals. But lung is a very common area where it gets metastasis from other organs. Like what are they? Like bladder, breast, prostate, bone. They all get metastasis. Lung is a very common place for metastasis to occur. So one is metastasis may go out of the lung because of the bronchogenic carcinoma, or metastasis may come because of other cancers like breast carcinoma, bladder carcinoma, kidney, and bone. They come in because very common place, lungs. So the causes, the symptoms may be due to metastasis. Like suppose if it is obstructing, then it may cause collapse like that. Or sometimes it may cause cough, or may cause hemoptysis like that. So because of both outgoing and incoming. And the third variety is paraneoplastic tumors. I'll come little later on to it. Then important, what are the symptoms? The symptoms may be because of metastasis or local. The important symptom is cough. The most common early symptom, but if it's usually dry initially, but later on it may cause purulent sputum. So one thing is because of the various presentations in the lung, Because of the presence, the cough also may vary. In some cases, like the patient may develop sometimes bovine cough. Pavan Kalyan, what is bovine cough? Bovine cough. Like in case of surgeries, when the recurrent laryngeal, left laryngeal is damaged, tumor, like in case of sulcus, superior sulcus tumor or tumor of the lung
Excessive
carcinoma, that affects, what is bovine cough?
excessive cough, so that the patient cannot able to close her glottis.
Very good. Because of the recurrent laryngeal palsy, the vocal cord palsy may occur. So the glottis the patient will not be able to close the glottis. The glottis is not completely closed. The idea, you know what is cough? The cough is just outward burst of cough when with the closed glottis. Then of course it opens. The glottis must be closed for complete cough. Then only the patient will get complete cough and the secretions in the tracheobronchial tree will be extruded or expelled out. But in case of bovine cough, what happened? Because of the paralysis of the recurrent laryngeal now, and one vocal cord is not closing completely. So it will cause incomplete cough. Incomplete cough means the patient will not be able to expectorate completely. So that is bovine cough will be there. That is bovine cough, recurrent laryngeal palsy because of the apex tumor. And then hemoptysis. Hemoptysis is also very common. What are other clinical features? Clinical features are because the Horner syndrome, because of the effects, of the tumors, because they are only centrally located. Centrally located, they will cause some symptoms. They are peripherally located, they will cause some symptoms like effusion. Peripherally located, effusion. Centrally located, patient will develop actually ptosis and Horner syndrome. And then superior vena cava syndrome, like that, because of the location of the tumor. Like squamous cell carcinoma. Squamous carcinoma is located in the center like this. So because of the presence of these tumors at various places, the patient will develop like various signs and symptoms. One is of course superior vena cava syndrome. Vena cava syndrome. Of superior vena cava obstruction, the patient will get superior vena cava obstructed will be here in central tumors. Because of that, the patient will develop superior vena cava syndrome. One is raised GOP and puffiness of the face. It will be blue, puffiness of the face will be there, and then that is engorged veins over the chest, here. That is superior vena cava. And stellate ganglion, that's all. That is cervical sympathetic. Then patient will develop ptosis and Horner syndrome. Horner syndrome, the three components will be there. And then cervical lymphadenopathy may be there. That is what is that? What is the sign? What is the sign, Madam Aisha? This cervical lymph node, one supraclavicular lymph node on the left side that will be enlarged. Scalene lymph nodes are also
Virtuous lymph node.
very good. Virtuous, that is known as Trocher sign. The left supraclavicular lymph node gets enlarged. That is known as virtuous node or virtuous node. Deep cervical lymph node, that it is present in both, in between the two heads of the sternocleidomastoid and the left side. Of course, scalene lymph nodes are also enlarged. Yes. And of course, superior vena cava syndrome. subrachial sympathetic. Then because centrally located, of course, it may present with collapse of the lung. It may present with bronchiectasis. It may present with cavities like the central located. And suppose they are present in the peripheries, like adenocarcinoma. The patient may present with effusion, pleural effusion, which is malignant pleural effusion will be there. That is. Signs of collapse may be there because central located may be there or peripheral located there. So what you find is this all because of the local lung features, local lung features. They are all, you find inspection, of course, of course, palpation, of course, they different disturbed, that is, movements are less. In the percussion, you may get a dull note. In tumors, actually, you'll get a dull note. But stony dull note you have to use in case of only pleural effusion. But dull note you can get in collapse of the lung, later stages of the consolidation, and tumors. You will get dull note. So of course, stony dull percussion here it is given stony dull percussion it is given, but actually it is not. Only in case of pleural effusion, hemothorax, there you have to use this stony. Of course, reduced absent breath sounds will be there. Vocal resonance will be reduced. Clubbing will be there. Clubbing will be there. And in case of bronchogenic carcinoma, you will get which grade of clubbing? Harika. Harika, anybody other than Ayesha? Pawan Kalyan, other than Pawan Kalyan and Ayesha, anybody else is there? In case of bronchogenic carcinoma, there are 4 grades of clubbing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which grade of clubbing you will get in case of bronchogenic carcinoma? Harika? Pawan Kalyan?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Harika?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Which grade? In case of bronchiectasis, lung abscess, you will get grade 3 clubbing, grade 3. But in case of bronchogenic carcinoma, you will get grade 4 clubbing. What is the grade 4 clubbing? Harika? Harika?
Peak shaped nail.
Ma? Grade 4 clubbing is the patient will have grade 3 clubbing. The patient will have the grade 3 clubbing, the parrot beak or drumstick shaped clubbing. The patient will have parrot beak or drumstick clubbing will be there, plus grade 3 clubbing plus hypertrophic pulmonary osteoarthropathy, HPOA. That is known as expansion hypertrophic pulmonary osteoarthropathy because of the presence of periostitis. Because the patient will have increased swelling of the nearby joint like in case of upper limb, wrist and elbow. In case of lower limb, ankle and knee. Usually ankle swelling is very common, so you will get swelling of the wrist and ankles, painful swelling of the wrist and ankles because of the newborn formation. If you take X-ray, you will find newborn. That is known as hypertrophic pulmonary osteoarthropathy. That is a common manifestation of bronchogenic carcinoma, along with grade 3 clubbing. Grade 3 clubbing actually you will find in suppurative lung conditions. Suppurative lung conditions like bronchiectasis, lung abscess, cystic fibrosis. They are all suppurative lung conditions where pus is there. But along with grade 3 clubbing, grade 4 is hypertrophic HPOA, that is hypertrophic pulmonary osteoarthropathy. Okay. That is clubbing of fingers will be there. Of course, reduced chest dull percussion. Bronchial obstruction, because it being a central bronchial obstruction, very common. Collapse of the lung, breathlessness, mediastinal displacement, percussion, partial bronchial obstruction may cause monophonic, unilateral wheeze. Yes, this is also very important. So clinically, when you are auscultating, you will get there are 4 types of wheezes. Of course, I did not get the opportunity to teach you clinically, but there are 4 types of wheezes. What are the 4 types of wheezes? One is fixed monophonic wheeze. Fixed monophonic wheeze. The second one is random monophonic wheeze. The third variant is expiratory polyphonic. And the fourth one is sequential inspiratory wheeze. So what you find in bronchogenic carcinoma, you'll find monophonic, fixed monophonic. Fixed monophonic means you will hear wheeze only over that area, like in the apex, only upper lobe or front and back. You will hear wheeze only over that monophonic and one type of sign. But whereas in bronchial asthma, you will find randomly you will hear all over the chest. All over the chest scattered. The wheeze is scattered all over the chest. But the same that monophonic wheeze will hear only one part of the chest, like it may be present in actually upper lobe like that, middle lobe like that. Fixed monophonic unilateral wheeze. Because of course, with cough, impaired or drainage, it cause lung abscess. Because pneumonia, that is very important clinical feature is pneumonia. Suppose the patient is getting pneumonia frequently, that is about every 3 months or every 4 months, the patient is getting pneumonia. Sir, you must always think of bronchogenic carcinoma. Of course, the patient must be elderly, like he must be around 45, 50 or more than that. So if he gets pneumonia frequently, occurs at the same site frequently, then it is bronchogenic. You must always, if patient is a smoker, elderly individual, recurrent pneumonias or the same area, then you must always suspect a bronchial carcinoma. Of course, rider, inspiratory noise, the main bronchus is narrowed with the primary tumor, the compression on the malignant enlargement of the carinal and paratracheal lymph nodes. Breathlessness, of course, you know very well, because it may be because of collapse, or it may be because of collapse, or it may be because of pneumonia. Or sometimes the patient may cause, like in case of peripheral, like adenocarcinoma, their pleurophy is very, very common. And it compresses, it may compress phrenic nerve, and it may cause paralysis of the diaphragm. Of course, it may cause breathlessness. Diaphragm causes breathlessness. Of course, pain and nerve entrapment. The pleural pain usually indicates malignant pleural effusion. Intercostal nerve involvement causes pain in the distribution of the thoracic dermatomes. Horner syndrome. Lung apex, ipsilateral partial ptosis, anophthalmos, meiosis, and hydrosis. They're all present in the same left side usually due to sympathetic chain at or above the stellate ganglion. This is because of the presence of tumors. I told you the symptoms will occur because of the local lung problem, or it may be due to metastasis, or it may be due to paraneoplastic syndrome. That is the second. The second one is Pancoast syndrome. Here also more or less the same inner aspects of the arm. It may be it's also known as superior sulcus tumor. The brachial plexus is involved. Malignant destruction of T1 to C8 roots, lower part of the brachial plexus. Of course, dysphagia, involvement of the esophagus, erythema, pericardium involved. Superior vena cava syndrome. Superior vena cava syndrome is swelling of the neck and face. Congenital edema will be there. Headache, dilated veins over the chest. This, of course, he has given here bovine cough. Lacking the normal explosive health. The idea of cough is Normal explosive cough means the patient should be able to expectorate. That is normal explosive character. But here, because the paralysis is that is lost. The supraclavicular lymph node may be followed by enlarged. Cautious sign. The second variety where you find clinical features are the metastatic spread, because the metastatic spread, the patient, you may get metastasis in, like from bladder, I told you, bladder, breast, bone, and their prostate. So it may cause floral deficits. Suppose the brain, the metastasis maybe the metastasis of the lung going to the brain, epileptic seizures, personality change, focal deficits, or it may cause liver jaundice, or bone pain, or skin nodules, lassitude, anorexia, weight loss. Finger clubbing is also there. That is hypertrophy that we discussed just a few minutes back. Painful periostitis of the distal tibia, fibula, radius, ulna, pitting edema, X-ray with periosteal newborn formation. In the third variety is actually the metastasis may be due to metastasis coming from outside, like bladder, breast, or going from into out, like to the brain, liver, adrenals, like that. Here, the third clinical features because of the third variety, that is because of the non-metastatic squamous endocrine, that is paraneoplastic syndrome. These are paraneoplastic syndrome. Inappropriate secretion of antidiuretic hormone. It may cause adrenocortical secretion. Hypercalcemia because of parathyroid. It may cause carcinoid syndrome. It may cause gynecomastia. So, of course, polyneuropathy, it may come because the paraneoplastic, it may cause polyneuropathy, myelopathy, cerebellar degeneration, myasthenia, that is Lambert-Eaton syndrome. So other manifestations on paraneoplastic tumors, digital clubbing will be there, HPOA, nephrotic syndrome, polymyositis, dermatomyositis, and eosinophilia. Of course, here is given a superior custom, it is already discussed. Hancock syndrome, characterized by the pain in the shoulder, in the arm, CA-T1 the lower part of the brachial plexus, wasting of the small muscles of the hand due to CA-T and T1. Local invasion of tumor may cause pain and tenderness, first and second ribs, rib destruction. Horner syndrome occur because the involvement in the sympathetic pathway, combined surgery and radiotherapy. On examination, we also discussed like looking of below average, moderate anemic, clubbing is there, cyanosis, edema, jaundice, pyelonephria because look at lymphadenopathy, that is left suprarenal more enlarged, left supra, bony tenderness and skin tenderness. Evidence of pneumonia, nervous system, higher psychic function, confusion and fits may be there because of the metastasis. The patient may develop fits. Cranial nerves sometimes may be involved. Hemiplegia may also occur. The patient of polyneuropathy, mononeuropathy, very common. Like in case of Pancoast tumor, there you have mononeuropathy or polyneuropathy. Mononeuropathy will occur because the patient will develop pain left arm, left upper arm, and sometimes the left lower arm because CA-T1, you know, the distribution of CA-T and T1. Because cerebellar function will be there, myositis, dermatositis may be there. For weight loss greater than 10 lbs, vocal skeletal pains, neurological symptoms, lymphadenopathy, hoarseness, bone tenderness, hepatomegaly, vocal neurological signs, soft tissue mass. So that is all our clinical features. Clinical features because the clinical features may be due to the local effects, like local recurrent pneumonias or causing collapse or causing obstruction, and then bronchiectasis or pleural effusion, or the local effects. The second one is because of the metastasis. Because of the metastasis, the patient may develop, of course, hemoptysis and all those, because some metastasis to lung. The patient will develop obstruction, may develop bronchiectasis, may develop pneumonia, may develop hemoptysis because of the metastasis from it. It may cause metastasis in other organs like brain, adrenals, like the liver. So there, because of that, the patient will have some symptoms. And the third variety is because the paraneoplastic is very common, about 10 to 15%. So there, of course, the patient SAD, we told you, that is adenocortical secretion, and hypercalcemia will be there, carcinoid syndrome may be there, and then Lambert-Eaton syndrome, it may be called Lambert-Eaton syndrome. They're all paraneoplastic syndromes. So it's a very important thing. Suppose known in the patient, elderly individual, known smoker for about 20 years, develops any of these things, recurrent pneumonias, and then weight loss, focal pains, and all those paraneoplastic syndrome like SADH. This is carcinoma. Then you must always think of bronchogenic carcinoma, because bronchogenic carcinoma is #1 cause of death in India. Of course, third in Europe. Is #1 cause of death in India. So you must always think of bronchogenic carcinoma so that you will not miss. Because some tumors, like in case of non-small cell tumors, actually that surgery is offered, surgery and of course chemotherapy. But in case of small cell, because by the time it is diagnosed, sometimes they make metastasis only. Chemotherapy is the treatment of choice. That will come later on in this class. So that's all about bronchogenic carcinoma. So if you find bronchogenic carcinoma examination, it's very, of course, it may not be easy, but the patient will have multiple symptoms. It may be, cavity may be there, effusion may be there, collapse may be there. Of course, the patient will be having clubbing of finger like that. So you must take history in detail, and of course, genetically, some of course genes are like EGFR, and some genes actually they are also involved in causes of the bronchogenic carcinoma. So that's all for today. I'll stop here. I'll take investigation treatment in the next class. Thank you very much. Thank you for the patient hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
అందులో స్వీట్ ప్యాకెట్ కూడా ఇస్తారు కదా సార్